What if there is one best practice that could cut through all the negativity and noise and distractions and engage even the most difficult coworker to focus on the patient experience? Stick around for inspiring 5-star patient kindness. Hi, this is Brian Lee, founder of Custom Learning Systems and healthcare's engagement expert. Our vision is kindness care everywhere. This is tutorial number 1 of a 12-part series called Uplifting Caregiver Engagement. You know, the world of healthcare has changed dramatically. Caregivers are fatigued and stressed out and frustrated and angry and distracted big time. Yet in the middle of this chaos, there is something you can do to reignite your people's passion and re-engage their heart, and it's telling stories. I'd like to begin by telling you a story from my heart. I had the opportunity of visiting the good folks at Franklin Hospital in Benton, Illinois. And the ER manager, Tina, told me a story about a little cutie pie named Tiffany that they admitted on a late Saturday morning with a life-threatening condition. They knew they had to airlift her to St. Louis, but she threw a tantrum. She didn't want to go. And she didn't want to go because of her mommy's birthday, and she wanted to give her a birthday cake. So 2 enterprising employees in the ER jumped in the cars. One went to a local dollar store, got some candles. One went to a corner store, got a cupcake, and they improvised this birthday cake. She was delighted. She sang happy birthday to her mom. Her mom pretended to be surprised. All was well. They airlifted her to St. Louis. What a great story. Now, I wish I could tell you that Tiffany was able to celebrate another birthday for her mommy, but she didn't make it. But her family was eternally grateful for the kindness and the extra mile that those caregivers showed her and her family. Folks, these stories can never be forgotten. My friend Erie Chapman wrote a book called Radical Loving Care, and he talked about the importance of telling stories he called proclaiming moments. And he was CEO at Baptist Hospital in Nashville, where they made it part of the culture that every meeting people told stories that honored and celebrated those caregivers that went the extra mile. At our annual conference, we hold one every year called the Healthcare Service Excellence Conference. Leanne Tiemann, that wonderful RN who wrote Chicken Soup for the Nurse's Soul and many other books, told this remarkable story about how when Vietnam was collapsing at the end of the war, the president asked her to rescue 200 orphan babies and bring them to the United States. And she had them all placed in boxes all over the place. And while they were flying over, one little baby caught her eye, and she ended up adopting this little baby who is now this handsome young son. What a moving story. Seth Godin, the marketing guru, said, marketing is no longer about the stuff you make, but the stories you tell. I want you to be aware of the benefits. To begin with, when we hear a story, it captures our imagination and hearts, and I get to ride along in your head, and it becomes part of my memory. It affirms our values and beliefs. It keeps us focused on the positive. Who can be negative hearing the story about little Tiffany? It reminds us of why we chose healthcare, unlike any other profession. It keeps our strength, validates our efforts, and it honors the individuals that we tell the stories about, and it inspires us all to do more and to care more. Stories are the currency of loyalty. My colleague and friend Lynn Sullivan said, let's start a kindness pandemic. And we start a kindness pandemic when we tell stories about our own caregivers. So let me summarize this tutorial with the following 5 points. Number 1, tell stories from the heart that move you. Number 2, share other people's stories that touched you along your way in life. Number 3, be aware of all the benefits of storytelling as a way of informing and persuading and engaging others. Number 4, above all, celebrate your own caregiver hero stories as often and whenever you can. And number 5, serve a dish of chicken soup for your caregiver's soul every day. Well, to empower you in your focus to appreciate, nurture, and support your caregiver heroes, I'd like you to have a copy of our Operation Uplift Team Charter. It's a pretty cool document. It includes an assessment tool, dozens and dozens of best practices to improve morale and attitude, to improve self-care, to help deal with COVID fatigue, and to improve retention. It also includes a reference library of our Caregiver Hero videos and TED Talks that we recommend, and recommended reading and more. And it's all yours just for the asking by clicking on the link below. Our next tutorial in this channel is one question that will guarantee your role as an inspirational leader. If you feel, folks, that this video has been helpful to you, please like and subscribe to our channel and join our Kindness Care movement. Please post any questions or topic suggestions you have in comments, and share this video with your peers and caregivers as much and as often as you want. Thanks so much for watching. This is Brian Lee, Healthcare's engagement expert. Now let's go spread kindness care everywhere.